By our 423 diplomas, we organize
coffees that are organically homegrown and roasted right in the country of origin. The country is some of the world's best coffee, but consumes very little of it. So I
de un proyecto de 100 hectáreas de viveros de robusta, de variedad pura y adaptada a la zona. El
Mudavadi to run us through the protocols and the rest of the program. You're most welcome, sir. Yes, Kalupo, the Vice President of Uganda, His Excellency Musalia Mudavadi, the Prime Cabinet Secretary of the Republic of Honorable Ministers of Uganda and Honorable Members of Parliament, Your Excellency the Ambassadors, Your Excellency and the Excellencies, allow me to quickly introduce to you the country. We have Honorable Dr. Anxious J. Masuka, Minister of Lands, Agriculture and Fisheries, Republic of Zimbabwe. We have Ambassador-elect of Agriculture and Animal Resources, Republic of Rwanda. We have Honorable Marie Chantal Nijimbere Doha Asomani, Ambassador of the Union of Comoros in Ethiopia and permanent representative to the AU. We have His Excellency Ambassador Josefa Korea Sako, the AU Commission in charge of Agriculture and Rural Development. And I want to thank the government of Kenya and all the other G20.
Com a Agenda 2023 da União Africana sobre a implementação da área do comércio livre continental africano.
De la production africaine du café, j'allais dire, de la sueur de nos frères et sœurs africains profite surtout aux pays, aux industriels, la prédominance du Robusta. Les efforts du gouvernement en faveur de ce secteur ont permis d'améliorer la production. La transformation du café.
Thank you very much. Great performance. Ladies and gentlemen, you're most welcome. Portuguese on channel 4. English, channel 2. French, channel 3. Using the same washroom by the poolside. For those of you who had coffee with us, that's the same washroom we'll be using. It's by the gym. Sponsors who've been with us, and we want to thank them for joining us. The Ugandan delegation, we really want to thank the Private Sector Foundation of Uganda that is represented here. We have the Vice Chair and one of the executive members. We want to thank will be entertaining us. Again, for translation services, English is on channel 2, French channel.
While working to improve the coffee production through innovation and technology, it's also important to work for fair trading systems at international market. In the coffee market chain, it is the producers and the end users that are most affected. African coffee producing countries, in coordination with regional and international partners, must double efforts to minimize this trade unfairness for the benefit of the producing farmers. It's my firm conviction that in this summit, we will be able to thoroughly deliberate on the challenges and explore ways and forward important workable recommendations that would help overcome the hard facts our coffee farmers are confronted.
For centuries, coffee has been a source of inspiration, a catalyst for conversation, and a symbol of hospitality. Moreover, it has been a valuable economic commodity that supports the livelihoods of millions in our continent. The G25 African Coffee Summit was created on 18 November 2021 under the auspices of the Inter-African Coffee Organization to re-evaluate the overall performance of the coffee sector in Africa.
African coffee accounts for about 12% of the world's coffee production, making it the second largest, most traded commodity in Africa after oil. In the year 2021-2022, for example, Africa's coffee production registered a dismal performance of 19.27 million bags of coffee compared to a global production of 167.2 million bags in the same period. This is a paltry 11.5% against a potential of 40% attributable to Africa's comparative advantage in land acreage, rainfall, and fertile soils. As a continent, we must develop appropriate strategies to reverse this negative trend and reclaim our position on the global coffee platform. Africa is a net importer of about 12 million bags of coffee, much of which is value added. Paradoxically, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, Africa exports 11 million bags, mainly raw coffee, and imports more value-added coffee. In the process, the continent loses much on job creation, foreign exchange, to mention but a few. In the Kenyan context, coffee is grown in 33 counties out of a total of 47 counties by an estimated 800,000 smallholder growers aggregated into 590 cooperative societies and 2,700 coffee estates with a total acreage of 109,000 hectares dedicated to coffee production. Kenya recognizes the strategic role the coffee subsector plays towards the country's economic growth and vertical integration. Specifically, coffee is a major source of employment, poverty alleviation, food security, foreign exchange, and generally contributes to the livelihood of many Kenyans and is estimated to support directly and indirectly over 5 million Kenyans along the coffee value chain. Coffee is a major source of employment, poverty alleviation, food security, foreign exchange, and generally contributes to the livelihood of many Kenyans and is estimated to support directly and indirectly over 5 million Kenyans along the coffee value chain. Kenya pledges for sustainable development to prioritize agriculture as one of the top 6 pillars in the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto, where all cash crop production is nationalized with compensation of farmers.
Some years ago, the global demand of coffee was 118 million bags, 60 kilograms. 118 million bags of 60 kilograms each. I hear that the global demand has now gone to 160 million or more. 60 kilogram bags. Why? Apparently, as already pointed out above, affluence converts some of the tea drinkers into coffee drinkers. Therefore, I hear that Chinese who used to drink tea, because they have more money now, they drink coffee. That's why the demand is going up. And that's why I have been encouraging Ugandans to grow coffee. Otherwise, if it had no global demand, I wouldn't encourage them. I would discourage them.
We now here agree to, 1, support research in coffee value addition to enable innovation and development of new products, generate new knowledge on best practices, improved technologies, and studies on various resilient to harsher climatic conditions, pests, and diseases. 2, support investment in value addition of coffee and its products and promote domestic coffee consumption. 3, agree to vocational training in coffee for the youth and women for job creation. And 4, agree to enhance access to finance for coffee value addition projects through the AU/Africa Free Trade, Africa Continental Free Trade Area framework and institutions, which include the African Development Bank, African Export-Import Bank, and African Coffee Facility Fund. We now therefore request that 1, the African Union, Assembly of Heads of State and Government, endorse the inclusion of coffee as a strategic commodity in the EU Agenda 2063 at the next AU Assembly. 2, we request that the Inter-Africa Coffee Organization is appointed as an AU designated agency responsible for coffee to work with the African Union Commission and member states on the effective transformation of the coffee value chain in Africa as part of the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area strategy on boosting intra-Africa agricultural trade. 3, we request that the African continental free trade area private sector strategy that anchors the development of regional value chains, prioritizes coffee value addition as a key deliverable in the aforementioned strategy. And finally, 4, requests that the African Development Bank and the African Export and Import Bank provide dedicated financial resources to boost coffee production and enhance coffee value addition. We finally undertake to organize the 3rd edition of the G25 Africa Coffee Summit in Tanzania in 2024.
Let us renew our commitment to the transformation of African coffee. First, let us embrace value addition as our guiding principle. And I therefore call upon governments and the private sector to direct more energy and resources to acquire modern coffee processing facilities, roasteries, and quality packaging. Second, I urge our farmers to increasingly adopt eco-friendly farming methods to ensure that our coffee industry leaves a positive footprint on both the environment and the people it touches.
If Africa gets more money from value-added products of its raw materials, will it not be better for the whole world? Because if you hear the per capita consumption of electricity in Uganda is 300. In the USA, it is 12,000. Why are the Ugandans not using electricity? Because first of all, in the past it was not there. But even when it's there, they may not be able to afford it. But if they get income, because they are getting more money from their coffee, getting more money from their iron ore, getting more money from their copper, they will be able to buy the electricity. And we shall be able to generate more electricity. Where will the turbines for generating that electricity be coming from? Uganda is not making turbines yet. We shall have to buy them from those people. I propose to say that global affluence will benefit everybody. Down with imperialism, down with the parasitism, long live the win-win strategy.